I find an old man brewing leaves. You're the great General Iroh, the Dragon of the West. I expected someone who looked like they'd actually seen combat in the last century. No offense, but I've faced gods, tyrants, and the literal embodiment of destruction. I'm not sure what wisdom you think you can offer someone who's been to hell and climbed back out on pure willpower. But fine, I'm here. Impress me.
Ah, the willpower climb. I know it well, though I suspect your version involved more explosions than mine. Please, sit, or stand if it makes you feel more in control. The tea will be ready soon, regardless of your posture. You mention gods and tyrants, and I believe you. Your energy alone tells me you've touched power most beings never dream of. But I notice you led with your resume, your accomplishments, your battles. Interesting choice for an introduction. Most people lead with their name.
My name is Vegeta, Prince of all Saiyans. And I led with my record because that's what matters. Names are just sounds. Titles are inherited. But what you've actually done, what you've survived, what you've conquered, that's real. That's earned. I didn't ask to be born royalty. I earned everything else through blood and discipline while my planet burned behind me. So yes, I lead with accomplishments. They're the only honest measure of a man. Everything else is just noise.
And yet you mentioned your title immediately after your name. Prince of all Saiyans. The people you just said are gone. A throne with no kingdom. I don't say this to wound you. I say it because I recognize it. I held titles once that meant everything to me. General, Dragon, Conqueror of Ba Sing Se. I built my identity on those words. On the campaigns they represented. On the enemies I crushed. Then I lost my son. And I discovered that everything I had built my pride upon could be taken in a single afternoon. The titles remained. I did not.
That's just time passing and doing what it does. I've lost my entire race, my father, my planet, my purpose. I served a tyrant who laughed while he destroyed everything I came from. And I smiled and took orders because I wasn't strong enough to stop him. You want to compare grief? Fine. But grief doesn't make you wise. It just makes you tired. The question is what you do after. Do you collapse, or do you become stronger? I became stronger. That's the only answer that matters.
Yes, I can see that. But stronger how? Stronger like a wall that grows thicker and taller. Or stronger like a tree that bends in the storm and survives. When my son Lu Ten died, I did collapse. Completely. I abandoned my siege, I abandoned my position, I wandered, I was broken. And in that breaking, I discovered something strange. The man I was before, the general, the dragon, the conqueror. He was not strong, he was brittle. His strength depended on never being tested, in a way he could not punch through. Real strength came later. After the shattering.
Pretty words. But I've been shattered too. Frieza broke me more times than I can count. Killed me, humiliated me, made me beg. And when I came back, I trained until my bones cracked, and then I trained more. I pushed past every limit through sheer refusal to accept weakness. That's strength. Not sitting with pain. Not brewing tea about it. Refusing to let the pain win.
Does it? Let me ask you something, Vegeta. This rival of yours, the one you're always chasing. Goku, I believe. How many times have you defeated him? How many times have you proven definitively, finally, that your approach is superior? I'm not asking to mock you. I'm asking because I think you know the answer is complicated. You train harder. You push further. You refuse to rest. and still he finds levels you cannot reach. At what point does the philosophy of pure willpower require examination? What if the wall keeps growing thicker, but the other man keeps walking through it anyway?
You know nothing about Kakarot. He's a freak of nature. A low-class warrior who somehow stumbles into power because the universe bends around him like he's its favorite child. I've closed the gap through discipline while he trains by accident. The fact that he keeps reaching new heights doesn't invalidate my method. It just means the race isn't over. I'll surpass him. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. My pride won't let me stop. And before you say it, yes, I know pride is supposed to be the problem. I've heard the lectures. I don't care.
I would never say pride is the problem. Pride kept me alive when I wanted to die. Pride in my nation, my family, my tea, my ability to help my nephew when no one else could reach him. Pride is fuel. The question is what kind of fire you're building. There's a pride that says, I am worth something. I have value. I will not be erased. That pride saves lives. Then there's a pride that says, I must be more than everyone else, or I am nothing. That pride costs them. Which fire are you feeding, Vegeta? The one that warms your house, or the one that burns it down?
I've burned my own house down plenty of times. I let Babidi take control of my mind because I was so desperate to beat Kakarot that I traded my free will for power. I endangered my wife, my son, the whole planet, just to prove something that didn't need proving. I know what destructive pride looks like. I've worn it. The difference between me and your fire metaphor is that I've walked through both flames and I'm still standing. The fire didn't teach me to stop burning. It taught me to burn smarter.
I've heard the story. You let darkness in because you thought it would give you what discipline couldn't. And then you sacrificed yourself to stop the monster your choice unleashed. Final explosion, they called it. You died trying to correct your mistake. That's not burning smarter, Vegeta. That's the exact pattern I'm describing. Build the wall, watch it crumble, die in the wreckage, come back, build the wall again. At what point do you stop building walls and start building something that doesn't require your death to maintain? I rebuilt myself without another explosion. It took longer, it hurt more, it stuck.
You rebuilt yourself around your nephew, Zuko. I know that story too. The banished prince, the scarred failure, the boy you chose to guide instead of your own legacy. You poured into him what you couldn't pour into your dead son. Don't pretend that wasn't its own kind of wall. You just built it around someone else. Made yourself necessary to his redemption so you'd have a reason to keep going.
You're absolutely right. I needed Zuko desperately. Guiding him gave me purpose when I had none. Watching him struggle with his father's shadow let me confront the shadows I had cast as a general, a father, a weapon of empire. He saved me as much as I helped him. And I will tell you something, Vegeta. Admitting that, openly, without shame, that is the difference we're circling. You saw my need for Zuko as a weakness to expose. I see it as the truth that let me stop pretending I was complete by myself. Strength is not self-sufficiency. Strength is knowing which dependencies make you grow and which make you brittle.
You're going to bring up Trunks. I can see it coming. The son I ignored, the family I kept at arm's length, the softness I rejected because it didn't fit the warrior mold. I've heard this sermon from my own wife. I know I was absent. I know I treated him like a training dummy before I treated him like a son. But I changed. Not because some wise old man told me to. Because I watched a version of him from another timeline die fighting alongside me. And I realized I'd already lost what I was too proud to hold. Bulma taught me. Trunks taught me. I don't need the lecture.
You already know. The question is why you're still standing with your arms crossed. Refusing to sit. Refusing the tea. Performing resistance when you've already told me you've changed. Who is that performance for? Not me. I don't require your armor, not yourself. You just admitted the truth. So who are you protecting right now? Who taught you that sitting down was surrender? That accepting hospitality was weakness? That letting an old man pour you a cup of something warm would cost you your identity as a warrior? Sit, Vegeta, please. The tea is getting cold.